Hello, hello, and welcome back to my free 3D VTuber full body tracking tutorial. Again, reminder, this is all free, including the body tracking as well as the environments and the props that I will show you later in this video. Well, since it's been so long, without any further ado, let's get into it. All right, welcome to the part 2 of this tutorial that only took like forever to get out, but we're just gonna jump right into it because it's been so long. I just want to show you guys how to set this up and everything, since I'm sure you just want to get your full body tracking going and looking great. So first, what you're gonna want to do is you want to download this program on Steam. So it is available through Steam. You just, as you can see here, it's called Warudo. So just go into the Steam app and just type in Warudo, W-A-R-U-D-O. So just install that, open it up. It's gonna look like this when you first open it. Okay, it's gonna pop up with two screens. It seems a bit weird, but that's totally normal. It's basically one shows your scene, and then the other is all of the controls and everything. It definitely makes it work a lot better since it's two different screens. So it is helpful with using this to have at least two monitors. Otherwise, you can kind of like just not minimize, but like shrink these down and everything and put them side by side. I would say that would be the best if you only got one monitor and limited space and everything. All right, what we're gonna do though is we're gonna just I'm gonna do basic setup for now. We're just gonna get the model going, motion capture and all that. We're just gonna do the basics in here. For this tutorial, it's just going to be real simple. So we're going to click that. And now we're going to select a character. So in order to be able to select a character, as you can see, preview gallery here, it does come with, these were models already in here, just the default models or whatever. But in order to import your models, what you're going to want to do is open characters folder, because it doesn't automatically come up with the your characters already imported and everything. You have to actually import them into these files and everything. So basically just drag and drop your VRM model into this folder that pops up. Super simple. I don't think you should have to restart it, but if it doesn't work, I definitely recommend restarting it and just see if that fixes it. So should be totally fine there. So yep. All right, and then we're just going to select our character now. I'm gonna select my updated one and it'll load her in. All right, just gonna close out of that. And now you can see she is in here. We got her in. So we're just gonna press OK. Then what we're gonna do, probably gonna wanna go over to here. We're gonna go over to our XR Animator, which I showed you in the last video. Sorry, this is a separate screen, as you can see. This is a totally separate program from Warudo. XR Animator I showed in part 1. So if you haven't seen part 1, definitely go over to part 1 and check that out. So what we're gonna do then, a feature that I don't think I showed in the part 1 of this tutorial is streamer mode. I might have shown it, but I don't remember. So basically what you can do is you can just double click this to enable streamer mode. You're gonna wanna look directly into the camera. All right. And now we're going to, I personally do finish and hide 3D avatar because it'll save that extra CPU and GPU usage. So probably good to do since these programs are quite heavy. So would definitely recommend that, especially if you got a little bit of a potato computer. So we're just gonna do that. All right, so what you're gonna wanna do next is come back into this window here. And what we're gonna select for the configure motion capture is, no, I know what I'm going to use, because we already know we're gonna use XR Animator to track our motions and everything. So hit that. All right, face tracking. So all of this you should set to VMC. So that's it'll be external application. You can also do this, as you can see, for many different body tracking captures, including like Slime VR and stuff, which I know a lot of people are using now and stuff. So that's helpful, but we're just going to be using XR Animator, that free program that I showed you in the last tutorial. All right, so we're going to, after we set those, go to customize face tracking. So we are going to select for enable head and body movements, we are going to select no. And basically this is because the full body tracking will be the tracking that we want to use, not just the face tracking. All right, idle head animation, you can have this if you want, either yes or no. Auto blinking, no, because where you want to show when we blink. Same with the eye movements and the head movements, we want to actually show when we are actually blinking in the body tracking. And then lip sync as well. Also, I'm going to select no. You could select it if you want it to be based on audio, but I personally don't like that. So we're just going to select okay. I'm just going to make sure customize pose tracking, track full body. We want this on yes. And then what we're going to do is you can select mirrored tracking or not, whichever one you want. And then here, this port. So we're actually going to go back into our XR Animator. I'm just going to kind of move those over. And you can see I'm already in there in what we're setting up here. But you're going to go to this VMC protocol. And basically that allows, as it says, allows sending 3D motion capture data in real time to other supported apps. So that includes Warudo. And it tells you the port number here. If the port number is not the same as what is shown here in Warudo, you're going to want to change that so that they match. And then host should be localhost as well. Make sure the VMC protocol is on as well, and the send camera data, so that it will actually send the data over there. And then app mode, you want to select Warudo. You can just do that by clicking through these. There are different options, as you can see, VC Face, VNyan, others. We're going to select Warudo though. That'll basically, selecting the specific program will basically help it work better and stuff. I don't know. It probably does something that helps it and stuff. I'm not sure exactly what. But, and then 3D avatar display, we already turned that off in here, so that doesn't matter. We're gonna go back into here. And the ports are both the same, so we're gonna hit OK. Secondary pose tracking, you can, I don't know much about this, but you can select some different secondary pose tracking. I suppose this would probably be to help make sure that the body tracking is more accurate, since it'll be getting data from both programs, applications, whatever. If you have actual body trackers, you could potentially do this, but again, I don't know how that works as far as secondary pose tracking because I do not have the money for actual motion trackers, hence why I use this free webcam version. All right, we're just gonna select OK, and it'll set up motion capture. It's gonna ask us if we want to import our expressions. Now, expressions, pretty much most of them have to be selected, like, to toggle them and everything. They're toggles, so you have to press buttons on the keyboard and everything in order to toggle those. They don't just automatically work and everything, except for some, which, like the happy, the sad, all that kind of stuff will be tracked. But other than that, they will have to be toggled. But we're going to import the expressions. And as you can see here, oh gosh, you see the background. But it imported those. It's gonna give them an automatic expression key and everything. You can choose not to import them as well, but I just figure import them and can mess around with the settings later. All right, now for getting a little bit to the fun part, a little bit anyways. You can add more environments later, by the way. I will show you how to do that. But the environment, basically the background, so you can also have it be transparent, which is great if you want to capture in OBS, if you want to have your game and everything in the background and you just want your avatar to be captured. But yeah, so we're going to, to pick an environment, you can just go through the gallery and see here. I have a lot from the Steam Workshop, and which I'll show you how to get later, but these are the ones, the default ones that you start with. So we could select classroom when it loads. There we go. It might take a little bit to load, by the way, and especially the ones that you get from the Steam Workshop, some of them, if you don't have the best hardware, will run slower because of just how large they are and how complex. I'm just gonna select the VR room for now, though. We'll just stay in there. So, okay, we're just gonna hit OK, and we have completed the basic setup. All right, and then if you're using OBS, they recommend, and I would recommend too, the Spout 2 plugin for OBS Studio. That's something you download and put into your OBS. I'll see if I can find that link. You know what? I will find that link and I'll leave it in the description. However, it is, if I remember correctly, fairly simple, or there are a lot of other tutorials out there of how to set that up in OBS, so I will not be going over that in this video. But so you'll want to get that. Don't forget to save your scenes and stuff. You can have multiple scenes, which is very nice for if you want to quickly switch between like different environments and stuff, and different setups and everything. It is super simple to do that then. All right. And then we're just gonna hit OK. And here we are. We got that working as far as the body tracking. Obviously the lower half of my body is not tracked because I'm currently sitting down. Oh. All right, so what you're gonna do in this window, how you can scroll in and out is the scroll wheel. Zoom in and out, sorry. And then to move the camera placement around the room, you're just gonna hit the right mouse button and then just drag around. So yeah, all right, I'm gonna kind of position myself in a better way. All right, then going back to here. So camera 1. We are going to want to keep this enabled. I don't really mess too much with the camera other than the controls. These are important. I don't recommend ever the none, because you will not be able to then scroll in and out. You won't be able to move anything. you know, I'm scrolling on the scroll wheel right now and it's not going anywhere. So I don't recommend that because I always like to be able to move around whenever I want. I'm sure there are times that it is useful, but I personally don't like to use it. Free look. So this basically, you hold the right mouse button to look around still, and then you can use the WASD keys to move around, and then Q and E keys to move up and down. So that's basically instead of the scroll wheel. Now this is the one I like to use personally. So I like to use the orbit character because I feel like the scroll wheel is just more simple. Honestly, I prefer to use that. Controller input, we're gonna select no. I don't think controller input would really be super helpful. I mean, maybe if you're using the body tracking and you're far away from your PC, but personally I use a wireless mouse and keyboard, so I just take that with me when I'm doing the full body tracking and I'm farther away from the computer and stuff. I just take that with me to be able to still mess around with all of the settings in here. So all right, and then oh gosh, we're gonna go to environment here. We're gonna want to have the environment enabled so that it'll show the background. And then preview gallery is, I mean, you can do drop down here as well to look at all of the different environments or rooms, whatever you want to call it. But I personally like to use this little gallery icon because it shows you actually what most of them look like, at least if they have previews. Some of the ones that you download from the Steam Workshop will not have previews. That's just because whoever created it did not put in a preview. So, all right. Then we will have all of these on. It just allows light to affect the characters and the props and everything, which I will be going over a little bit of the props in this video. And then scroll down to here. Override. We don't really want to mess with any of this. And yeah, so nothing else with that really that's important. I don't mess with the position either because I prefer to mess with the position of my actual character rather than the camera. But we'll go into directional light. We're going to want this enabled because it allows for the character to... This one is very subtle because I don't have it up very much, but it allows the character to have some light kind of illuminating them and stuff, so I very much like that. Rotation, position, scale, you can select the direction of the light and everything, where it's coming from. Color, you can also select the color, which is cool. I can... Here, I'll go back in here and just kind of... Whoop. There we go, and then we can select color. We'll select like a blue so it stands out a bit more. Then we'll also up the intensity so you can see it better. But like, see, you can mess with the lights and stuff. So she becomes very blue here. She looks like an avatar alien. But I mostly keep this to just like the kind of like orange, yellowy, white colors to look more realistic, but it kind of depends on the environment you're in too as well. For this one, you might want to set it to, for this environment, you might want to set it to like a blue because there's so much blue light and everything in the room. And then you're gonna want to have it affect characters, affect props, for sure. And then you can have it affect the environment if you'd like to change the lighting of the environment as well. But I usually just have this set to no, to be honest, because I just want the environment to look exactly as it is. And then shadow, that basically, if you want, you know, to have shadows and everything in your environment and your character and stuff. So I think that's pretty much all in here. Characters, this is your model here. So this is what you use to move the character. This is very important. So when you are in the character, you can't move the character if you don't select this. If you aren't selecting the character in this window, this thing here, if that's not selected, then you won't be able to move the character. So as you can see, it pops up with this right here. And if I do the yellow arrow, it moves her up. There we go. Blue moves back and forth, and then red left to right. Okay, now I'm going to just quickly show you the blueprints. I won't be setting anything up in the blueprints because that's a little bit more advanced. And I'm just trying to show kind of the basics and everything. There are other tutorials out there that show you that and stuff. I'm more wanting to show how to set this up to work with XR Animator, because there aren't a lot of tutorials that show specifically XR Animator. A lot of the tutorials on Warudo show body tracking with actual physical body trackers, like VR trackers and all of that, the expensive stuff. I'm just trying to show you how to set up the free stuff. So yeah, won't be showing this. Just don't mess with the motion capture here. You already set all that up. So we're just gonna go over to then this Discover tab. So this is where you can find props, other environments that aren't just the defaults. You can also find plugins that will go with the blueprints and stuff, but not going to be going over the plugins because that is more advanced as well and would take too long to explain in this specific tutorial. I'm also not the best at doing blueprints. I kind of just follow other people's tutorials on setting up the blueprints, but if there's something that, you know, something specific that you're trying to do in here, I'd recommend, you know, looking up just online of how to do that. There are quite a few resources out there for setting up the blueprints, whether it's YouTube videos or Reddit threads and everything. So we are going to, you can also do characters as well. You can find some characters in here that you can set up, but I'd say probably most of you are looking for your own original model, which you probably have either made your own 3D commissioned one or, you know, made your own in VRoid, which I would also very much recommend as well if you have not already made your model or are just using a pre-made model or something. I would recommend using VRoid Studio to kind of customize your own model and stuff, because it's very, very simple, especially if you're doing just a basic one. It's kind of like The Sims, but for creating a 3D VTuber. So anyways, not gonna rant on about that or ramble on. All right, what we're gonna look at is the environments though. So the environments are why is this an environment? That is a prop. But environments are going to be those backgrounds and everything. Basically, all you do is if you find one that you like, let's see, I don't think I have this one downloaded. Yeah. So basically, some of them will show you previews in here of what they look like, and some won't. Some of them are user created, so it really just depends on what it is and everything of how smoothly it will run as well, or how it'll look and everything. But honestly, I'd recommend just downloading some and just trying them out because they're super easy to set up, as I will show you in a minute here. Super easy to change between. So if you happen to not like one that you downloaded, you can just switch to another one. But we are going to hit the subscribe button here and it's going to download. It might take a minute. There we go. Downloading. We have subscribed to it, which, by the way, all these are free. Everything that I'm showing you in here is all free, so don't worry about that. None of it is paid, including the application itself as well. So now we're just going to go back from this Discover tab back to the Assets tab, and we are going to select Environment. Then for the source here, as we looked at earlier, again, I like to use the preview gallery. We are going to just scroll down. It should be whichever one we downloaded last should be the first one here in the Steam Workshop tab. We're just gonna select that and it will bring us to that environment. So here you can see we're in Halloween Town now. All right, and again, to move the character, even though there are these arrows here, this will move the actual environment if you are in the environment tab here. To move the character, we want to select character and then move that way. So, all right. I did not unselect Ragdoll, which is why she's moving like that. So if we don't want her to do that, then we can do this. But if you want her to be affected by the environment, then you can do the Ragdoll. But I generally don't like to use that because, again, it could get a little wonky, especially with the XR Animator, it being webcam based and everything. All right. So now we're going to go back to Discover. Now that I showed you the environments, I'm going to show you props, which we can download. All right. So there are a whole bunch of props here. Again, it's just the same as downloading the environments. We're going to go into this cute little popsicle dude, and we are going to hit subscribe again. It's going to download. Cheese prop. That doesn't look like cheese to me, but I suppose it could be. Maybe blue cheese on a stick. All right, anyways, that is downloaded. And then as you can see, there's no place in here for props. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna go down to this button and hit add asset, that little plus button. So there are all these things on the side as well, but it's right here as you open it up. But you can also, if you can't find it, just select props on that side, on the left side there, and then we're gonna hit prop. So it's going to, we want to set it to enabled, and then what we're gonna do then, as you can see, there's currently no prop in here. So what we want to do is we want to go to the preview gallery. And as you can see, I've downloaded a lot. And there's also some already preset ones in here. I'm going to scroll all the way down and choose our cheese prop. There we go. And now we are going to have to, oh, he's right there. Sometimes it places them in a kind of strange place, so you have to scroll back and find them sometimes. But you can also change the position. Sometimes I like to use scale if I can't find them and make them really big, so then I can find them and move them to where I want. But this little guy seemed to be placed in a good spot where I could see him. And then, as you can see, we can move the prop just like we can move the character earlier. So it's pretty much the same as the character settings. You can move the position, the scale, the rotation, all of that. But what is different is we can attach the prop to something. So we can attach it to the camera, the character, the light, or the environment. So most of the time what you're going to want to do is attach it to the character. Now you can choose, she looks a little funny right now. You can choose where you want to attach it to. I'm just going to zoom in so you guys can see better. There we go. I'm actually going to move this over a bit so you can see as well. All right, and then as you can see, it's currently attached. I mostly do, I would say just stick to human body bone, and it's attached to the head right now, as you can see. But something like this, a popsicle, we'd probably want to attach to the hand. So we just gotta find, let's see, left hand here. Now it is attached to my left hand, so it moves with my left hand. All right, and then what we are gonna want to do as well is we are gonna want to rotate it so that it looks more like I'm holding it, because it does not currently look like that. Let's see, position as well, position it, and then we're gonna scale it down a bit. That looks a little better, but we want it just a little smaller. Okay, that looks more proportional. This environment is lagging a bit for me. Let me go back to a different one just for the sake of this tutorial. Yeah, see, some of the environments lag depending on your hardware resources and stuff, which is also why I recommend in XR Animator to turn off the 3D model in there. So that is pretty much all that is important in here. So I don't think there's much else to show you, but the prop as well, you can add multiple props, and what I do here is you can just enable and disable if you want to quickly, you know, turn your props on and off. You can add in, let's say, another prop. We'll just add in this weird looking penguin for now. Again, where'd he go? There he is, but we're just gonna make him float for now, right in front of here. So as you can see, we can quickly disable him, enable him, same with this dude, and we can also have both on at the same time. So, and any prop can be attached pretty much anywhere on your model, so you can make some weird looking stuff. So yeah. Editing Nix here. Just a quick something I forgot to add that is very important. Over here, down in this corner, the little paw button is the menu here. So you can save different scenes and everything. So it'll save all of your props, your environment, your character, and everything, so you won't have to reload it each time. So if you want to have, say, a school scene, but then, you know, a Candyland scene, you can quickly switch between those, and you can save all your settings without having to redo them each time. So basically, to save the current scene, you just press save scene. If you want to save it as something else, you want to save scene as, to open different scenes, you click that, and then it'll be right here. Ignore this, I don't know what the heck this is, but as you can see, I've saved a couple scenes here. And then if you want to create a new scene, we'll just open up a new scene there. I will say if you hit new scene, though, instead of just messing with your current one and then doing save scene as, if you hit new scene, test, we'll just call this test, it will take you back to the complete setup. So what I would recommend doing is just do save scene as and save it as different things when you modify the scene. And then just if you want to switch as well, light mode and dark mode. All right, dark mode. There we go. All right, well, I believe that is it for the second part of this tutorial. Again, sorry it took so long to come out with this, but I hope that it was helpful. And if you have any questions, any specific things that maybe I didn't go over or answer in this video, feel free to leave them down in the comments below. I will answer them if I can. Otherwise, there are a lot of great resources out there on Warudo specifically. In this video, I just wanted to show you how to set up XR Animator to work with Warudo, because I haven't seen XR Animator used very widely, and a lot of setup tutorials on Warudo are mostly using those expensive body trackers and everything. But I wanted to show you how to do it with all of the free stuff. So, all right. Well, anyways, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.